Remain seated, please. Permanecer sentados, por favor.
Matterhorn Matt presents Matterhorn Mondays.
Hello everybody, welcome to episode 81 of Matterhorn Mondays. I'm your host, Matterhorn Matt.
And I'm Alex, the historian.
And for those of you guys watching live, it's not Saturday. It's not Monday either. It's Friday, you guys. Everything is collapsing. It's lunchtime. I propose to you guys, all 9 people in chat currently. I want you guys to vote on what I should get for lunch today. We have the wonderful choices of McDonald's. There's Whataburger. There's Taco Bell. There's really anything your heart can dream of. Besides In-N-Out.
Did you say Whataburger?
Whataburger. Whataburger. Oh. I think I said Waterburger. Not Waterburger. Whataburger. We do have Cane's. I haven't been there in a while. If you guys can, I guess the majority... I'll get whatever the majority of people say.
Wait, Cane's as in like Raising Cane's?
Yeah.
Oh, cool. I didn't know you had that out there. Your town is so small.
Yeah, it was recently built. I think it opened maybe like a year ago at this point. Taco Bell, and if you get the app, they give you free discounted stuff. Are you serious? I think Friday at the McDonald's here, they have... It's either free large fries or like 99-cent large fries, but I think the fries are always like 99 cents. I don't know. I get notifications on my phone because I have the McDonald's app downloaded for some reason. It's going to be a great podcast, you guys. We got some really wonderful, amazing, great, heart-fulfilling stuff to talk about, you guys. We're going to be getting into brand new details regarding the Spider-Man attraction coming to California Adventure, as well as some more rumors regarding Star Wars Galaxy's Edge. I know the past like 4 episodes we've done nothing but Galaxy's Edge. I apologize if you guys are not Star Wars fans, but I mean, this is like the big news, you guys. We can't just gloss over this kind of stuff. But yeah, I guess before we get into any of that, it is time for the weekly Matt Snaps segment. I had to go out. I ran dry of Snapple, you guys. I haven't had a Snapple in like a week, and so I had to go to the Walgreens just to buy 2 bottles of Snapple. But let's just pop this bad puppy open, shall we? All right. Real fact number 357: a baboon is a variety of lemon. What? That doesn't make any sense to me whatsoever, but... Am I reading it right? A baboon is a variety of lemon. Oh, whatever. If they say that a baboon is a type of lemon, then by all means, I'll believe them. Someone please fact check that, or if I'm like having a stroke or something, and if I'm reading it wrong. But yeah, Matt snaps. I can only snap with my right hand. Well, I guess I can kind of do it with my left hand, but I can do it better with my right hand. But anyways, that has been this week's segment of Matt hosts very sugar-filled drinks. We're going to be getting into news from the peak now. We hope you all enjoyed... I don't know what I'm doing. News from the peak!
We now present to you News from the Peak.
That's not the right screen. That's not the right screen, you guys. Where's the news? There's the news. News from the peak. Alright, guys. For our first bit of news from the peak, this is a big, huge piece of news, you guys. I'm sure you all remember us talking about the Disney-Fox merger / buyout, whatever you want to call it, as of 12:02 a.m. on March 20th. The merger has finally been completed. you guys, between Disney and 21st Century Fox. I just popped my arm. Oh, that hurt.
Oh my God, did I do that?
No, I was scratching my back, and I had my arm bent at like a weird angle, and I like moved it back, and it like popped, and it hurt. Anyways, leave your thoughts and comments down below about how you feel about the Disney Fox buyout / merger, whatever you want to call it, because I know there's a lot of controversial stuff, a lot of controversial opinions, I guess I should say, about whether or not it's a good idea. Did I spell Disney wrong? I spelled Disney right. Just ignore that. There's a lot of controversial opinions about whether or not Disney buying out 21st Century Fox was a good idea or a bad idea. And I think I saw somewhere on the internet about how this is going to be like somewhere between 4,000 to 10,000. The number could be completely wrong, but somewhere in between those numbers, layoffs at 21st Century Fox. So a lot of people at the company are going to be losing their jobs because Disney decided to merge, I guess, with 21st Century Fox. So yeah, leave your comments and thoughts down below on that. I think we're going to go in more detail about the Disney Fox merger next week, because I do have a big episode planned next week. But yeah, stay tuned for that. For those of you guys who are sort of out of the loop, this merger has been in the works for almost over a year, I believe, at this point. And since it's completed, Disney gets Fox Movie Studios, all the Marvel properties owned by Fox, X-Men, and the Fantastic Four. They get Fox TV Studios, FX Network, National Geographic, an increased 60% stake in Hulu raised from their previous 30% stake, and Fox keeps Fox Sports, Fox News, Fox Broadcast Channel, and Fox Business. I believe they're sort of rebranding that part of the stuff that Fox keeps into a different, I don't remember what the exact name they're rebranding it to, but yeah, so leave your thoughts and concerns about that down in the comments below. Our second bit of news from the Peak is very interesting. This comes from WDW. Ow, that hurt. News Today. 2 separate lawsuits have been filed over people mover collisions at Walt Disney World's Magic Kingdom. This is very interesting. Again, this comes from WDW News Today. In 2015, a family from New Jersey had their vehicle come to a complete stop in the dark part of the ride during inside Space Mountain. Quote, after the cart containing the Trigado family came to a stop. Trigado family, thank you. It was struck from behind by a trailing cart, the lawsuit said, which called the people mover, quote, dangerous and, quote, a concealed trap. Guys. Okay, I'm just going to continue reading. I'll get into my thoughts on this after that. The collision caused... Am I bleeding? I'm not. It's just Snapple juice. I'm sorry, guys. It felt like I was bleeding on my hand where I slammed down. But the collision caused serious injuries and cost more than $175,000 in medical bills, according to the lawsuit, of course. Quote, the ride had... Oh my gosh, someone's like drag racing out in my street. Holy cow. I don't know if you guys could hear that. Probably not, but...
no, I don't hear anything.
Yeah, $175,000 in medical bills. Whether or not... I mean, I'm not accusing this family of, like, inflating their medical bills, but I know that is something some people do when they decide to sue. Again, there was a second collision in February of 2017. Another guest suffered injuries on the ride, caused again by a collision. Quote, the ride had just begun and then unexpectedly stopped about 100 yards from the station, said her Orlando attorney, Brian Wilson. The next train slammed into DSO's cart, according to court documents. The collision caused injuries to her neck and shoulder, leading to a surgery to fix problems from a herniated disc in her neck. So yeah, this is very interesting to me, you guys, because as you know, the People Mover is my favorite attraction in the Magic Kingdom and possibly in Walt Disney World as a whole. And I'm hoping that this, again, I mean, these lawsuits happened a few years ago, but I'm hoping that this doesn't lead to Disney closing down the ride and, like, I don't know, making any major changes to it, or, I mean, closing it forever Walt forbidding. Alex, what are your thoughts on these two collisions that occurred at the Walt Disney World People Mover?
Okay, well, like you were saying, like I myself wouldn't want to assume like anything about these people's like medical problems, but from the information that we know so far, it doesn't sound right. Like, okay, if anybody's ridden the People Mover through Space Mountain, it goes really slow at that point.
Yeah,
like
it does, though.
Slows down, and I think it slows down to like 2 miles per hour. But even then, on the way into Space Mountain, it's only going 7 miles per hour. So, I mean, I get how maybe a collision from one that is stopped might definitely be like jolting a little bit, but like I don't really understand like how they could have sustained like a herniated disc from that. Like 7 miles per hour is really not all that fast. That's about the same speed that people walk. So it's just kind of strange. But like, anyway, hopefully Disney doesn't close this attraction. There is one thing though that I have to say about the attraction is that because of its particular design, it's not like the one at Disneyland. It's got a particular design where like it might be hard to reprogram how fast it goes in certain areas because it uses magnets that are already like fed a certain amount of electricity. I don't believe that these magnets are individually programmed to a certain amount of electricity. I think they're physically like they like solder in like resistors and stuff like that that give them a certain amount of electricity. If they wanted to adjust the speed, they'd have to like recalculate all that and then like and go out onto the track and physically like rewire everything. So whereas like the one at Disneyland, like they had electric motors with rubber tires and they could easily just like decrease the output of the electricity in each motor to slow down the area. I know that's a bit of nerdiness for everybody right there, but my basic point is it would have been easy to speed up or slow down certain areas that People Mover at Disneyland, but it might be really hard to do that at Walt Disney World. And because of that, if anything happens with this lawsuit thing, we might be facing them closing the People Mover.
I mean, the thing from the article that really caught my attention was when the first family called the People Mover dangerous and a concealed trap. That's sort of I don't know, those are like words that if someone, I don't know, if I were Disney and if someone called the People Mover like a concealed trap, I'd want to like look at the People Mover and like, I don't know, like maybe plan a refurb. I don't know, but like Alex said, it'd take a while to refurb that attraction.
It's just that, when you have the point of view where you're saying, oh, it's a concealed trap, it's like it was an accident. A concealed trap would be like if it happened consistently, but it doesn't really happen consistently. It's like one of those things that has happened in the past, but if you look at it in a whole, it's like a really rare occurrence. I mean, the things that make it happen the way it does is like has to be all in line. Like the stars have to be in line for a collision like that. I mean, I don't know. I just feel like that seemed like a bit of an overstatement. I mean, it has to be. I mean, a lawyer wrote it up, didn't they?
I mean, yeah.
So...
I mean, like I said, please, Disney, don't shut down the People Mover because of this. Please, I'm begging. I'll give you guys a lifetime supply of Snapple if you keep the People Mover up and running for us. But we'd like to hear your thoughts on that in the comments below. Last bit of Disney news, brand new full Toy Story 4 trailer has been released. For those of you Toy Story 4 fans, it looks very interesting. I'm intrigued to see what the plot of the movie is going to be. A lot of people are calling that Bo Peep is going to be the secret twist villain, which would probably be a horrible idea because they already did that in Toy Story 3 with Lotso. So I don't think Bo Peep is going to be the secret twist villain. Maybe there won't be a villain.
Secret twist villain in like each of them.
You know, you're right. In Toy Story 2, they had one as well.
Yeah, because there was, what's his name?
The prospector guy.
Stinky Pete. Yeah.
Yeah.
Stinky Pete was like the one that like ended up like he was like this nice like grandfather type figure, and then all of a sudden he became like, oh, you have to stay here. Can I just say something about this Toy Story 4 trailer?
Mm-hmm.
Why is it in every single Toy Story movie Woody has to get separated from people?
I mean, yeah, I was thinking the exact same thing, to be honest. Because that was the plot of the first Toy Story. Or, I mean, it was part of the plot of the first Toy Story. It was the plot of the second Toy Story. It was the plot of the third Toy Story. Oh my gosh, you guys. Is Pixar running out of ideas with Toy Story?
It's like this. It's the same story. Sorry, people. It's the same story. Like over and over again. Like Toy Story is like the same story. So just when you watch Toy Story, just think the same story.
Yeah, I mean, maybe they'll put a secret twist on it somehow. I don't know. It looks interesting though. I guess I'll have to end up seeing it in theaters, or maybe I'll just wait for it to come on the Disney streaming service in 20 years. But anyways, that wraps up this week's news from the Peak. And before we get into our main topics, I have this wonderful image that shows everything Disney currently owns after the Fox merger has gone down. I posted this image in our Discord channel. If you guys have not joined our Discord server, link is in the description. We got a lot of great people there, but yeah. So I'm just gonna go ahead and zoom in and out, scroll around. Let's see the.
Where can I see this image on Discord?
Oh, here I'll send it again. In the hub for everybody. Let's see, where is it? Live streaming images, and it's somewhere in here. Here we go. All right, the companies Disney owns. A map of the Walt Disney Company's worldwide assets. And there's a key here, you guys. A key. Film, television, radio/music, gaming, finance, theater, consumer goods, property and parks, publishing, digital, miscellaneous. So, I mean, I'm just going to scroll through it. I'm not going to stay and read everything. You know, there's Hulu, there's ABC, there's another ABC, there's Hong Kong Disneyland, Disney Store, there's Disney Theatrical Productions Ltd. There's the Lucasfilm. It's a lot of stuff, you guys.
Wow.
I mean, yeah. And there's even like circles on the outside of the Mickey ears. I don't know what these mean. I guess they're not 100% owned by Disney, maybe? I don't know. Excuse me. But yeah, I guess this is a good image if you want to put things into perspective as to how big Disney has become within the last however many years it's been since the company has been open. But
wait, anyways, Disney owns Hulu?
Well, they own a 60% stake in Hulu. They don't own a 100% own it.
Okay, because I was like, then why are they doing their own streaming service?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, but yeah, the link to that image is in the Discord server in the hub, just freshly posted there for you guys. Anyways, we're going to get into our first bit of news. I guess our first topic. We already did news from the Peak. New details regarding the interactive Spider-Man attraction coming to Disney California Adventure and Disneyland Paris, you guys. This is what we've all been waiting for. This is the Marvel Disneyland California Adventure news that we've been all craving, you guys. But sadly, my craving has gone unsatisfied because there is very vague information that they provide here. And I guess we'll get into that after we sort of recap what is going on here. So I'm sure you remember like a month ago or something, about the first details that they released regarding, I guess, the first phase of Marvel Land. Was it the first phase? I believe it was the first phase that they somewhat revealed very vaguely again about the Marvel Land happening in California Adventure. They mentioned a Spider-Man attraction, but didn't go into any details whatsoever. And now, March 21st was when this article was published. They do give brand new information thanks to Scott Drake, a creative executive, Marvel Global Portfolio. So thanks, Scott, I guess. I'm going to read the title of this article. New recruits to quote-unquote suit up alongside Spider-Man with cutting-edge tech from the new Worldwide Engineering Brigade at Disneyland Resort in Disneyland, Paris. Now, the Worldwide Engineering Brigade, if you guys didn't catch, spells out web. W-E-B. That's awesome, you guys. That's just the amazing attention to detail. That's just why I love this company. Worldwide, yeah, there's two W's. Worldwide. It's web, I guess. I don't know. They messed up the acronym. But yeah, so I'm going to be quoting from this article. Let's see. Quote, "The Avengers are setting up new headquarters and training facilities around the globe to inspire all potential recruits willing to step up and become something more. As part of this global initiative, Tony Stark has founded the Worldwide Engineering Brigade, or WEB for short, to develop advancements in superpowered technology, including new enhancements to Spider-Man's suit as their debut project. By bringing together the world's brightest young inventors, the WEB is creating new interfaces that will empower all of us to join the ranks of Earth's mightiest. Earth's mightiest. Not mightiest. Mightiest. So yeah, again, very vague, but I'll continue reading for you guys. Both parks will feature an exciting new attraction where guests of all age can join the heroes in action. We are expanding our story universe by creating a new organization, the Worldwide Engineering Brigade, or WEB for short, to be our setting for this experience. Though WEB is grounded in classic characters like Peter Parker, it is an organization that we can all be a part of, one that invites us to engage with these iconic heroes like never before. Besides introducing WEB, we can't wait to debut a brand new, cutting-edge interface as part of this fun, interactive attraction. Through a blend of never-before-seen technology and practical effects, guests will be able to experience for themselves what it is like to have the abilities of a superhero. So, I'll stop right there. Well, I guess I should point out the image here that I'm showing you guys is the new suit that Spider-Man's going to have when he roams around Marvel Land. But yeah, so I'm sure you guys remember the web swinging sort of ride technology that was filed in the patent. I believe it was probably almost maybe like a year and a half ago that patent was filed. Everybody assumed it was for a Spider-Man attraction because the what is it called? The patent details, you know, sort of like guests are sitting, there's like an arm, and then there's like a chair down below attached to the arm. I guess it's attached to something, I don't know. And it sort of like swings, like if you're doing the robot and your hand, you just leave your hand swinging like that. I guess that's how it works. That's just how I picture it in my head, at least. But again, everything here is very vague. For some reason, I don't know. It's really hard to put my finger on why exactly Disney is being so vague when it comes to these Marvel Land releases. And when I first read that this attraction was going to be an interactive attraction, they say they're going to debut a quote-unquote cutting-edge interface as part of this fun interactive attraction. That's sort of, I don't know, that sort of gave me the feels like it was going to be a Midway Mania sort of attraction, which would have been very underwhelming, in my opinion. I believe Spider-Man deserves his own, maybe not an E-ticket, but at least like a D-ticket maybe attraction. I don't really view Midway Mania as sort of a top-tier Disney attraction, but yeah, that's kind of what I was worried about, that it's going to be a Midway Mania clone. Hopefully it won't be, but with the information that they're providing here, it very well could be, or it could be, I don't know, it could be a walkthrough. It couldn't be an attraction at all, you guys. It could just be a big room with a bunch of screens where you touch things, and there's like a mirror, and you look in the mirror, and magically transforms you into a superhero by overlaying superhero clothes on top of you, because, you know, they do say that you're going to get to experience what it's like to have the abilities of a superhero. That's just my initial thoughts when I read this. But Alex, what are your thoughts on the brand new details for the Spider-Man attraction in California Adventure?
It's interesting. I don't really know what to say. I mean, I guess like the reason why like I'm kind of speechless at the moment is because I'm probably never gonna see this thing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like, not because I don't like Spider-Man. Like, of all the Marvel superheroes, he's Marvel, right?
Yeah, he is.
Oh, okay, yeah. So like all the Marvel heroes, he's probably my favorite. But at the same time, I kind of feel like, I don't think. Like, when I think Disney, I don't think superhero.
Yeah.
You know? So, I don't know. But, I mean, considering that there was, like, a Spider-Man attraction at Universal, I think, so. Anyway, but the details are very interesting. I'm interested to see how it turns out. I'll probably watch, like, a ton of videos when it comes out.
Yeah.
You know, and see, like, what the ride system looks like and all this stuff. And I don't know, like, it'd be kind of cool to like get a picture with Spider-Man in the park or something. But then like, I don't know, for some reason I would feel like it's like getting a picture with like one of those random mascots on Hollywood Boulevard. I don't know. Anyway, that's my thoughts on it.
Freddie says Midway suspended from the roof, also using the Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway projection tech. I guess that'd be kind of cool if they incorporated at least that new, I don't know, swinging ride technology. Maybe if you're holding like a web shooter and you gotta like shoot all the enemies while you're swinging around in this, I don't know, like exciting roller coaster style thing. That'd be kind of cool. I don't know how big the show building's gonna be though. I guess that'd have to be a pretty big show building for that to happen. I'm imagining. I'm not an engineer, so don't take my words, you know. I don't know what I'm talking about is basically what I'm trying to say. Let's see. There's a little bit more. They say, quote, "This adventure will blend seamlessly into the story of the new lands we're creating at both Disney California Adventure Park and Walt Disney Studios Park, where there will be surprises at every turn." He says, quote, "I'm personally most excited to see Spider-Man swinging through these lands in a new suit that you can now see at Walt Disney Studios Park, soon at Disney California Adventure Park, and other locations in the future." When I was reading that, I couldn't remember why I put that quote into my notes, but now I remember. He says he's excited to see Spider-Man swinging through the lands. Swinging through the lands. So, does that mean Spider-Man's going to be attached to like a harness through Marvel Land and he's going to be like swinging around? That's the impression I got from that quote. It could be completely wrong, but
maybe he's like figuratively swinging. I mean, like,
yeah.
I don't want to get into that. Never mind.
Anyways, so I guess that was just what my brain pictured when he said he was going to see Spider-Man, you know, swinging through the lands. Maybe he's going to be, I don't know, attached to a harness, and he does like a flip and he jumps off the harness and like does a superhero pose and then poses for pictures for everybody. That'd be cool. I don't know. Probably not. But yeah, leave your thoughts down below about what you think of this new attraction. Yeah, I guess back to why Disney's being so vague and secretive when it comes to these Marvel lands. I don't really know. It's hard to put my finger on. I said on Twitter the other day when they first announced this that Disney's being so secretive because this is just my conspiracy theory. My theory is that since the Eastern Gateway got canceled, I believe they were going to use a big portion of the entrance / Esplanade area that was going to be, I guess, removed during the Eastern Gateway where the bridge was going to be and it connects to the Esplanade. They were going to use that for an expansion to California Adventure. And my theory is that they were going to put all of the Marvel stuff in that corner of the park. But since that got canceled, they can't expand outwards into the bus depots anymore like they were going to with the Eastern Gateway. I guess they probably had to redo all of their plans for Marvel Land. I think because at that point, Guardians of the Galaxy had already been opened, I believe. I'm pretty sure when the Eastern Gateway was announced. So I don't know. That's just my theory. They probably don't know what they're going to do 100% for Marvel Land, at least for Phase 2 at least. I'm guessing Phase 1 is already sort of locked in concrete because they're locked in concrete? That's not the saying. Set in concrete. Is that how it goes? I don't know. Because they're already doing construction. They already closed Bugs Land for Phase 1, so I'm guessing they already know what they're going to do for Phase 1. But yeah, that's my theory. They had to redo all of their plans since the Eastern Gateway got canceled. But yeah, leave your comments down below about whether or not you agree. If you agree with what I'm saying. But back to the more interesting stuff. I know a lot of you guys don't really care about Marvel in the parks. I mean, I was gonna say me included, but I'd be very. I don't know. I'd like to see a Marvel Land done right. In a Disney park. I don't know if this is gonna be what I'm wishing for. Anyways, we're gonna be getting into some rumors about Galaxy's Edge, and I'm so sorry for bombarding you guys, like I said, with Galaxy's Edge stuff for the past like 3 or 4 weeks in a row. This is just big news, you guys. This was brought to my attention by Freddie. This comes to us from the disboards.com/threads/SWGE-rumor.3740470/.
Jeez.
Yeah. If you guys would like the link, you better rewind and yes, new rumors about Star Wars Galaxy's Edge coming from Disboards. I guess I'll go over this short little summary that Freddie provided for us before we get into the actual details that were provided. The too long didn't read of this is that there will be a standby line to get into Galaxy's Edge during the opening the opening period. Reservations are basically like a fast pass to get into the land, and Rise of the Resistance is still nowhere near opening, so that's the too long didn't read. If you guys want to skip ahead to the next topic, go ahead, but I'd suggest to stick around because we're going to be going into depth on what all of this stuff means. I'm going to be quoting from this article. Let's see, quote, "Soon, the Disney Parks blog and a media release will reveal the online process to score a staggered reservation window for entrance into Star Wars Galaxy's Edge. But that's just going to be a scam to try and prevent too many annual pass holders from showing up casually showing up casually before summer blockouts begin on June 24th. What's really planned is that a chunk of the land capacity will be saved each day for a standby line that will be stacked on the Big Thunder Trail. From May 31st, you'll be able to enter Star Wars Galaxy's Edge. You'll be able to enter the Star Wars Galaxy's Edge standby line on the Big Thunder Trail and wait to be let into the land between pulses of reservation holders. The land entrance will be handled like any other Fast Pass ride, and the Big Thunder Trail entry caves will be the quote-unquote merge points where standby and Fast Pass are allowed in alternately. Leads and managers will use radios to communicate between land entrances and pulse guests in from the standby line as reservation holders arrive and depart." So, big news, you guys, whether or not this rumor is true, I guess. So, yeah, too long didn't read. Star Wars land entrance will be handled like a Fast Pass standby entrance instead. Yeah, so there's going to be, apparently, according to this rumor, there's going to be a standby line to get into Galaxy's Edge, which, I mean, I don't know. Alex, what are your thoughts on this first part of this big rumor?
Well, I think it's like, I think it makes sense, you know, like the fact that people who are paying full admission price to get into the park just for the day, they're technically in a certain way, they're paying more than like what an annual pass holder pays, because like, we used to say it as cast members that annual pass holders were kind of like getting the discounted rate, because technically they can come into the park so many times a year for only a certain amount of a price. And so technically, if you split it up between all those times of the year that they visit, it's like they're coming into the park for sometimes, just at a cost of like $50, whereas like a regular guest comes in for like nearly 120 or so. And so it's just kind of like, it makes sense that Disney wants people who are paying full admission price to have better access into the park first. And another thing that my dad works at one of the hotels, so he was telling me, like, the day that they announced all this stuff, he was telling me how they were like, people were booking up the hotels like crazy. And he told me just the other day that they all booked up, and then that's when I heard the news that they all booked up. So anyway, but the point is like, is that it makes sense that Disney wants to get their higher paying guests into the land before their annual pass holders who have all these discounts and stuff like that, And so as Chris was asking, he was confused. I think he missed the first part where you were saying that the reservation system is a decoy in order to get annual pass holders to believe that they're supposed to get a reservation. That's the only way into the land, is the way that Disney's making it sound, which is the rumor right now. So, so it's technically just a decoy, and then really there's going to be standby lines to get in the line, to answer Chris's question. So, yeah, that's what I think.
Yeah. I guess this idea sort of falls apart once a single person who gets into Galaxy's Edge that waited in the standby line opens their Twitter and says, "Oh, hey, you don't need a reservation to get into the land. You can just wait in the standby line." And then everybody's just going to wait in the standby line and not do reservations. So I guess, I don't know. I don't know whether or not this rumor is true or not. Maybe it could be true. But I'm going to continue on. Quote, the park's blog is going to play it off in their upcoming announcement that a reservation is the only way to get into the land from May 31st to June 23rd, but that's not the real truth. They'll lowball the number of reservations available daily on purpose and allow in big pulses of non-reservation guests, so long as you don't mind waiting some on the Big Thunder Trail. Expect the standby lines to be long on May 31st and that opening weekend. So yeah, that sort of just continues on. But what we were saying, there's more though. There's a lot of stuff to break down in this article, you guys. The way to get into the park overall will be handled just like the 60th kickoff was, with Pumbaa parking lot opening for pre-staging on May 29th, and then the line forming at the Harbor Boulevard entry portal and into the East Esplanade on May 30th. Toy Story lot will come online for pre-staging parking once Pumbaa fills. Harbor Boulevard will be the point of entry for almost all early arrivals for May 31st and opening weekend, since the Mickey and Friends structure expansion won't be open and ready yet this time in June. So yeah, again, I guess that...
Now, I have a question about that, because if there's anybody in the chat right now who can answer me this, I've never heard that term before. Staging area. Like, is that like so you can park before everyone else can park? Or like, what is that? Because even like, maybe I should know this, but as a cast member, I never heard that before. And I was around for the 60th anniversary where supposedly, according to this article, that's what they did. And I have no idea what staging area means. So if someone can tell me, or Matt, maybe you know, I don't know, but
no, I don't. I need someone to explain to me as well.
So you just arbitrarily give out information without, I'm just kidding. I'm totally kidding.
Freddie says this is describing people who are camping out. Okay.
Wait, what? Oh my gosh.
So okay, I mean, all right. I guess that sort of makes sense. So yeah, very big breaking rumor, you guys. This will be overnight parking the day before. Oh,
Wait, is it camping out or is it parking or is it both? Are people camping in their cars?
Yeah, I'm thinking it's people camping in their cars on, what was the date? May 29th or May 30th? One of those dates. And then I guess they can, like, take a quick shower in their car. I don't know. And then get
I
out
hope
of their
those
car.
people bring a lot of empty Snapple bottles with them.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll have plenty. I'll hand them out to everybody. But yeah. So yeah, so I guess they're going to be camping out in their cars overnight in the Pumbaa parking lot. And then Toy Story Lot will open once Pumbaa gets filled. I'm just not excited for this at all. I mean, I am excited for this because I want to see what the chaos is like. But if I was, if I booked my vacation around these dates, like if I was like a 4-people family, and I like saved up for a whole year just to take my kids to Disneyland within these dates, I'd poop myself, you guys. I'd actually poop myself, because of all this chaos that's gonna be happening. Yeah, I mean, wouldn't you guys do the same?
You know, like I've been telling everybody for like months now that I plan to be there on opening day, but when I heard this like rumor article, I was like, I have to admit, I was pretty taken aback because it sounds scary. Like it honestly sounds like really like I wouldn't want to camp out. Like, and I get that everybody camps out for like a movie premiere or something, but I've never been one of those people. And I don't know, like I can't camp out on a sidewalk. It's just not what I do. But the other thing too is just like the utter chaos to get in the park. Like I know that people used to get in like fist fights, you know, just trying to get into a crowded Disneyland. I've seen that in my tenure before at Disney. And so it's just like, so now, like, due to this rumor information, and then on top of what I already know it might be like, I'm kind of like, I don't know if I want to be there on opening day, or if I'm even going to be able to. Like, I might not even be able to get in the land.
Yeah, I mean, well, Freddie explains, it's not meant for sleeping in your car. It means sleeping on the sidewalk in the tent for 24 hours. So, okay, so you park your car in Pumbaa. You get out of your car. I guess you go to wherever the line is already started, set up your tent, and then you wait until the day that it opens. I might sound crazy, but I'd love to do that. I could be the only one who has ever said that they'd like to camp out on Harbor Boulevard to wait to get into Disneyland. I just feel like the whole atmosphere there, because, like, I don't know. The reason I'm so excited for all of this, the reason I'm so excited for Alex and Chris, and I don't know if I end up going as well, going opening day, is because I'm so excited to see all the chaos that's going to happen. I'm the kind of person that enjoys watching, like, things go wrong. Do you know what I mean? That sounds really weird. I enjoy watching things as, like, they fall apart. That sounds really weird to say, but I'm sure you guys, I'm sure most of you guys get what I'm trying to say.
Sounds like you should have been vacationing in ancient Pompeii.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I'm sure you guys at least understand what I'm trying to say. Jill says people love a train wreck. Yes, that's what I'm going for. I'd love to see like all the families. I mean, I know this sounds awful. I'd love to see all the families who camp out, you know, like right behind me while I'm camping out as well. I'd love to see them camp out. You turn around and the kid is their child is on the dad's lap inside the tent, and the kid's crying for 24 hours straight because he's hungry. The dad can't get out of line, or else he'll lose his spot in the tent line. I mean, it just sounds like a dream come true for me, to be completely honest.
Though? I might camp out if Matt, if you're gonna be there and you're gonna camp out, then I might actually do it. You know, like,
yeah.
We'll see. But the other thing too, I have to wonder is there's people with disabilities who literally can't camp out, and how is Disney gonna accommodate them? So that's my question.
I was wondering that too.
Yeah, so because I know someone who would love to be there, but they literally cannot camp out there, and so I'm wondering, like, if they wanted to be there, how would they get in?
Yeah, I was wondering that same thing as well. I guess I forgot to bring it up either last week or 2 weeks ago. One of the times we talked about this, I was wondering that as well. But yeah, if I do end up going, I'm 100%. If I'm going to do Galaxy's Edge opening day, I might as well do it right. I'm buying a $100 tent at Sportsman's Warehouse. I'm bringing a cooler. I'm bringing a satellite, like a little DirecTV satellite that I can set up right outside my tent. I'm bringing my flat screen, my little flat screen TV here, and we can watch, we can watch Disney movies all day while we wait, and everybody around us is going to be sweating. Everybody's going to be smelly because of all the sweat because they've been camping out, in the May heat in California. It's going to be a great time, you guys. I'm excited. If I do end up going, I'm excited to see how it all pans out.
You know what, though? Like, I bet you anything, because you see, there's people who are going to be staying overnight at the Disney hotels.
Yeah.
And I bet you anything that the downtown Disney monorail station will be available only to hotel guests.
Oh no!
That way they get some of the first access. And because they get magic mornings, they'll be in the park waiting before everybody else will. So yeah, so I think that the hotel, and it's going to be crazy because all three of those hotels can hold a lot of people. So who knows? Like, the whole park might even be like halfway packed. Well, maybe when Galaxy's Edge opens. So, like, I don't know. My dad was telling me, like, oh, you should get a room, like, and he was telling me to get the room before everyone else did. And I'm like, do I look like I have the money to get a Disney room? I heard like it was like $800 at Disneyland Hotel.
Oh yeah.
And it was just like $800 a night, and that's not the normal price. That's just because they knew that Galaxy's Edge was opening.
Well, I was gonna save this for the second topic, or I guess the second smaller topic, but everybody's already bringing it up. So yeah, the second topic that we were going to talk about is still regarding Galaxy's Edge. All 3 Disneyland hotels are sold out for the night before Star Wars Galaxy's Edge is opening. Yeah, because as you guys know, like Alex said, guests who have a reservation and who stay at a Disneyland Resort hotel during the 3-week, I believe, time period, they'll automatically get a reservation into the land. So yeah, rooms for some other nights after that are available at the Disneyland Hotel starting at $651 per night, and the Grand Californian starting at $821 per night, according to the Disneyland website. So, I mean, that's a lot of money, you guys, just for one night. I guess adding your park ticket to that's a lot of money. I don't know. It's going to be very interesting, like I said. I'd love to see. I feel like if I do end up going, I want to hire maybe like 10 other people to like just have their smartphone out and like plant them in specific areas. Maybe at like you said, the monorail station at downtown Disney, at the entrance Esplanade of Disneyland, maybe in one of the entrances to Galaxy's Edge. I'd love to like plant people there with either like a camera or their phones to like take all day record all day for as long as they can, and then maybe like compile that into sort of like, I don't know. I just feel like it'd be interesting to compile all that footage into one sort of long video, maybe like as a news, like how the news does it, like just compile. I don't know. You guys know what I'm trying to say. I feel like that'd be really, I feel like that'd be really fun to do, really fun to watch. If you guys are interested, I don't know.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. What? I'm just gonna go ahead and interrupt. But anyway. So the only thing I feel really bad for people who are gonna like camp out on Harbor Boulevard because if for those of you who haven't seen what Harbor Boulevard is like at night, like,
yeah,
you may not even want to do that because there are so many crazy homeless people who do all kinds of weird stuff. There's this one homeless guy who I see every time I go to Disneyland, and he's always dressed in like ascots and like leg warmers, and he has like a low top, like it's just like really crazy, like I don't, and he has his hair up in a bun, but he's like a crazy homeless person. And then there's this other guy who sings to himself because I think he thinks he's a jazz singer. And yeah, it's just like crazy. And the homeless people there can be really aggressive. Like if you don't give them money, they will try to fight you sometimes. So it's like, that's like something I really don't look forward to. And I don't know if Disneyland Resort security is going to be there monitoring the Galaxy's Edge line along Harbor Boulevard, you know?
Yeah. I mean, maybe Disney's hoping that Harbor Boulevard will scare off a lot of the guests so they don't jump out. That could be, I don't know. That's just, I don't know. That could be a crazy thing that Disney is planning, but I don't know. Anacrime, Swedish Eskimo. Anacrime, yeah. Yeah.
I'm looking forward to the people that film opening day in like what do they call it? Like vertical mode on their phone in like 144p.
Yeah.
That's gonna make me so mad. Like, you have a smartphone, why not use it? You know. Anyway, but yeah,
all I can say is I'm very excited, you guys. If I don't end up going opening day, I'll be excited to see all the footage because there are going to be YouTubers. I don't know, maybe like maybe WDW News Today or Inside the Magic will be camping out in one of those lines on Harbor Boulevard. Well, someone will end up posting a 50-minute long vlog detailing the beginning of their journey, getting there the day before, setting up their tent, to when the park finally closes on the 31st and they get to experience it. I'm very excited to see that. But I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts down below on that. We do have more rumors regarding Galaxy's Edge, this time about Rise of the Resistance. Yeah, I'll quote again from this article. Quote, also more trash talk about Rise of the Resistance and all its problems. It's still bad, real bad. An important part of a new attraction opening is something called the 72-hour test, or MDOT, multi-day operating test. An MDOT is when a ride system is operated continually for 72 hours straight, round the clock for 3 days non-stop. Cast members operate the ride system in shifts. Imagineers are also there to monitor progress 24 hours a day, and facilities cast members are on constant standby in case of downtimes or mechanical issues. The ride doesn't have to be perfect for the MDOT, and downtimes are expected, but it needs to operate at least 80% of the time. Excuse me, a lot of Snapple in my tummy. At least 80% of the time for 72 hours straight to pass the test. Every Disney ride has to pass this critical test before it can continue on the final prep stages before opening for guests. Falcon already passed its 72-hour test and got the green light from WDI and Disneyland Resort facilities. A May 31st opening is a cakewalk for Falcon, especially due to basically having 4 different turntables and thus 4 different ride systems that are all behaving as expected as planned. But Rise of the Resistance is nowhere near being able to try an MDOT and operate for 72 hours straight. Having Rise of the Resistance open by D23 Expo is a wild goal right now, but there is a scenario that Rise of the Resistance may be delayed until late fall or even the 2019 holiday season. Maybe there will be a breakthrough and Rise of the Resistance will get up and running for paying guests later this summer, but no one is betting on it. So again, basically reiterating what everybody else already knew about Rise of the Resistance. Very sad. I don't know. I feel like I said something like this a few episodes ago. It's just crazy to me that they would because they've been planning this for, what did we agree on? It's been 5 years since they announced this, around there, maybe 4. I don't remember the exact number we landed on, but it's just crazy to me that they've been working on this for at least 4 or 5 years. I mean, most of that was probably construction, to actually build the land, not necessarily building the attraction. But I mean, I'm sure they've had like test sites off campus somewhere to make sure everything's working properly. But it's just crazy to me that they've been working on this for, like I said, 5+ years, and they set this opening date, but it's not anywhere near. I mean, according to the rumor, it's not anywhere near being completed. That's just really wild to me, in my opinion. But Alex, what are your thoughts on Rise of the Resistance being the worst Disney attraction ever created?
Okay, well, I don't think it'll be the worst Disney ride ever created. I think that award goes to Superstar Limo, but in any case, it like I said in the last podcast, it didn't really surprise me all that much that they're having difficulties with it, because I kind of felt like the whole system in the first place was just overly complicated for what it needed to be. Like, honestly, like the whole ride, everything that you do in the ride does not need to be that complicated. It's different if you're doing something really strange and really different, like, I don't know, like Flight of Passage or something. But like this ride system could have easily been done by any other existing ride system and it would not have made a difference. Like, it really would not have made a difference on this ride if you used a different ride system altogether. But anyway, what was I going to say about it? So it's just funny because it's like I was saying in the last podcast where people are saying like, oh, well, Rise of the Resistance isn't late. It's, the land is early. And I was saying, well, yeah, the land is opening early because they know the ride's going to be late. So, and they want to make that money in order to help offset the cost of getting the ride to where it needs to be, or at least to operating condition. So, will the ride be operating eventually? Yes. Will it be operating the way that they expect it to? Maybe not. It might be a little bit different than what they originally planned. A lot of rides are, like Indiana Jones Adventure is a good example. Indiana Jones Adventure doesn't operate today the way that they originally intended it to. But it's perfectly acceptable. And so anyway, what am I trying to say? I'm babbling. But yeah, so I know eventually Rise of Resistance will open and, and it'll be fun and people will love it. But I feel like its Achilles heel is its trackless ride system.
Yeah.
I'm done.
Okay. I have to propose a scenario where Rise of the Resistance never opens because they can't figure out the kinks in the system. What if that happens, you guys? That would be wild.
You know what I think, honestly? Like, let's just play devil's advocate. Let's just play Sith's advocate that, that they cannot get this ride system running. I think what they would do is they would just reconfigure the ride vehicles to like a tracked ride. Kind of like, imagine like any of the Fantasyland dark rides, Snow White, Mr. Toad, Pinocchio, all that. They would probably put a rail down the pathways that they need the vehicles to go and reconfigure the bottom of the vehicles to follow that rail And honestly, they can create like switch tracks and things to get the vehicles to go in the places they need to go. That's why I was saying that if they had used a whole different ride system on this, it probably would not have made any difference as to what it's going to be right now. The only difference is the rail in the middle of the path. That's honestly it. Like, because they could make the ride vehicles switch tracks. I mean, they do it on Indiana Jones all the time. Same thing with Dinosaur. So, yeah. And then on top of that, like, the ride vehicles aren't doing anything that would restrict them from being a different type of vehicle. I mean, not an Omnimover, but like, you know, like if the ride vehicles were on a rail, they could still go on the lift that drops them down 2 stories. They could still do all that stuff that they're already doing in the ride, and probably do even more because of it. But because they're a trackless vehicle, it might not have like motion simulation the way that we would. It might have a little bit, but it may not have like full motion simulation like the Indiana Jones Adventure, because then you need something to anchor the ride vehicle down. So if you know what, I'm getting too nerdy into this. You probably don't.
Chris says, I wish they used a ride system similar to Transformers. I haven't been on Transformers in a long time, so I'm going to need a refresher, Chris. I do know that they use a lot of screens in that ride. It's
basically just what I described. It's a motion simulator on a visible rail. And the only difference, like, I know that sounds horrible, like, oh my gosh, like, you know, a motion simulator on a rail. But supposedly, I haven't been on the ride, but supposedly it stops in front of like certain screens.
Oh,
but because
yeah, that's right.
Because the vehicle has these like tall walls on either side of it, you can't see the ride track supposedly. But I've seen plenty of YouTube videos where you can clearly see the ride track, so I don't really see how you can't see it. But anyway, yeah.
I haven't been to Universal in a while, and Transformers was a really fun ride when I did go. Maybe one day I'll go back, but Rise has turned into a walk-through attraction, says Freddy. I mean, it's always a possibility, but I'd like to place a wager, one Snapple bottle, that Rise of the Resistance never opens, and that they use the space for a completely different attraction. So yeah, you guys can quote me. Come back to this episode. This is episode 81. I'm not saying it's going to happen. I just think it'd be really crazy that it did, and I'd like to bet a bottle of Snapple that it will happen. I'm not saying that I want it to happen, but I mean, it would be, I don't know what I'm saying. Anyways, yeah. Please, no one, I'll have to edit that part out. I don't want to give it, oh well, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But anyways, last bit of the article, they say, quote, the May 31st opening date for Star Wars Galaxy's Edge was agreed to by Walt Disney Imagineering and Team Disney Anaheim management because Falcon is almost ready to go for the guests already, with entertainment, foods, and stores on track to be ready by mid-May, and there's no sense in waiting for Rise of the Resistance to be ready for months from now. It's going to be a while for Rise of the Resistance, so Team Disney Anaheim is going to get the party started on May 31st. Woo! Good for them. I applaud them for their initiative. Yeah, so anyways, Alex,
it's just going to be like, oh yeah, sorry, I'm already started without you. It's just going to be like Pixar Pier all over again, you know, where it's like, it's been open for a while and like 2 of its attractions are still not running. I mean, we all know that Rise is the only attraction that won't be open. But what I mean is, like, I feel like there's probably going to be things that aren't fully operational, like, for a long time. You know, like Disney is talking about all these like things you can do with the app, and I can just see so many things going wrong with that. You know, it's just like, I personally don't trust complicated technology. because it's too complicated, you know, like in the sense that like it hasn't been perfected yet. And so it's just like they're trusting all this stuff in a tech. I was supposed to get paid by YouTube 2 days ago and they didn't pay me. And I was just like, how? Like, you know, like it just basically the analytics just never transferred over to Google. So I just never got paid from them. But it was just, that's what I'm talking about is like, I feel like everyone's always telling me to like trust technology, but it's like, how can I trust technology when it's constantly breaking down? You know, like, so that's kind of what I feel like about Galaxy's Edge and stuff. There's a lot of new stuff that's trying out, which is like great. Like that sounds awesome on paper, but in reality, it's like a lot of this stuff is just so new that they don't really know if it's even gonna work. Like, and I don't know. I guess the point of the story is you'll never know what to fix if you don't try building it. You know what I mean? So I guess that's the other argument.
That's true. It's just baffling to me that Disneyland of all places has such crappy Wi-Fi. I'm sure everybody in chat and listening can attest to this. Disneyland has some of the worst internet, wireless internet that I've ever used. I've stayed at hotels that have better internet than Disneyland does, and that's really weird for me. You know, I mean, I don't really see what the problem is, to be completely honest with you guys. My old high school, has faster Wi-Fi than Disneyland does. I mean, granted, my old high school doesn't have to account for so many more people every day, but it's just, I don't know. It's just really weird to me that, yeah, that's basically all I have to say on that. And I guess on that note, that wraps up these topics. Yeah, we'd like to hear all your thoughts on everything regarding Galaxy's Edge, all these new rumors down in the description below, and we'll keep you guys updated if there's any new information, any new news, or any new rumors regarding Galaxy's Edge. I'll be scouring Mice Chat and WDW Magic. Is that what the website's called? Disboards. Oh, I guess WDW Magic is another forum as well. I think it could be. But I promised it 3 weeks ago, and I fell through 3 times. We're doing it, you guys. We're bringing back Words with Walt, everybody. I know a lot of you have been asking for this segment, and I know I've made a lot of empty promises, but we have our quote today from Mr. Walt Disney himself. The quote is, "Please go to the parks. We need money." Wait. That's not the right quote. Wait a minute. Here's the right quote. "Disneyland will never be complete as long as there are IPs left in the world." Wait, that's not right either. Oh my gosh. I'm completely butchering this segment. All right, here we go. Here's the real quote from actual Walt Disney. I found this one online. I feel like this is a very lovely quote. "Movies can and do have tremendous influence in shaping young lives in the realm of..." Did I spell entertainment wrong? I spelled it right. Okay. It looks like the E looks like an A from here. Okay. "Movies can and do have tremendous influence in shaping young lives in the realm of entertainment towards the ideals and objectives of normal adulthood." Alex, what are your thoughts on this wonderful quote?
You know, I think that it's quite right, because I think that as much as we all like to say,
I just spilled Snapple all over my shirt. Anyways, continue.
Oh my goodness. So as Matt tries to clean up his mess, so as much as we all like to say, like, you know, that we know that movies are fake and movies are movies, but I think that movies really shape who we are, because movies can provide us with guidance. Movies can provide us with humor, can provide us with, you know, some type of mentorship. I mean, you know, there's, you know, I'm sure every one of us has like our favorite actor or even character from a movie that we wish we could be like, or wish we could see as a real mentor and that kind of thing. And it's funny because Walt Disney identified that while it is entertainment, it is an entertainment that can guide us into shaping like who we are. So when he says that like tremendous influence in shaping young lives, you know, it can influence us to be better people. It can influence us to want to entertain others. You know, it can influence us to, you know, to grow in a certain way. So it's like Walt Disney always wanted to put out entertainment that inspired people, and that's why, because he knew that people put a lot of gravity, a lot of weight onto his characters.
Yeah, I agree. I don't really have much more to add. Alex really said everything that I was thinking, but I do agree. This is a very wonderful quote that really does still apply nowadays as well as it did back then. Yeah, if you guys would like more words with Walt, please stay tuned for future episodes of Matterhorn Mondays. We don't have any spooky stories, and I just realized that there's still Snapple on my chin. All right.
Sure it's not blood?
I mean, it tastes like Snapple, but I don't know. At this point, I'm convinced my blood is Snapple, so it's hard to tell nowadays. Anyways, thank you all for coming to this week's episode of Matterhorn Mondays. We hope you all enjoyed. Oh, I forgot. We don't have any birthdays this week. Forgot to announce that. Also, right before we went live, I saw that Mr. Alex the Historian published a video. Is that true?
Oh my. Yes, you caught me. I published part 2 of my Haunted Mansion from my Disneyland History Today series.
Guys, be sure to go watch Alex's new episode for the Haunted Mansion. I'll put the link in the description. Yeah, or if you're already subscribed to his channel, you probably already saw it. If you have him on notifications like I do, you probably already saw that he had a video come out. But
and don't forget, you can also buy Alex the Historian themed merchandise.
Oh, that's right. I forgot to announce that as well. Why don't you go ahead and explain what that's all about?
I was about to. So I have a Teespring website or store, online store, and you can get t-shirts, even sweaters, also phone cases and like a coffee mug and things like that. There's a wide assortment of styles of clothing for both women and men, and it's all got like my logos, like my images and stuff from my website and stuff like that. So just check it out and see if there's something you might want.
I'll link that down in the description as well, you guys, because Alex does have some great merch that he put out. I'm going to buy one of his t-shirts. I'm going to be the first one once I somehow get the money to pay for it. But yeah, no birthdays. It is everybody's unbirthday today, though, so happy unbirthday to everybody watching. Let's see. I forgot to do all the announcements at the beginning of the episode. I'm going to be posting to my Instagram more, you guys. My Instagram is matterhorn.mat, if you guys would like to follow that. That rhymed! Whoa! That was epic. Okay. Anyways, I guess we might as well end the episode today. Stay tuned to next week, or possibly the week after. I don't know when Jeremy's going to be free again. But I do have a very interesting topic that I'd like all of us to discuss. Basically, we've been getting a lot of comments. Maybe not a lot. We've been getting a handful of comments on the podcast detailing about how, I guess, strange it is. How we dislike every new thing that Disney's been putting out, whether it be the Fox merger or Star Wars Galaxy's Edge. And I'd like to take a segment in the podcast to sort of detail why we feel that way. I don't think we've ever done something like that in the past before, but I feel like it'll be a very interesting learning experience, not just for the viewers, but for us as well. Maybe we'll discover something new in ourselves. I don't know. Stay tuned to next week or possibly the week after. I'll have to ask Jeremy when he's free so all three of us can get together and talk about stuff. But yeah, we hope you all enjoyed this episode. Be sure to subscribe to Alex, link in the description below. Subscribe to my main channel, because I do have a main channel, if you guys didn't know. And as always, have a great, big, beautiful tomorrow.